Hey everybody, and welcome back to my channel. Today I have a what's for dinner. I'm going to be sharing 5 budget-friendly meal ideas that you can make for your family. If you're new to my channel, I do upload food content pretty often, but I try to keep it all budget-friendly and things that you probably already have in your pantry anyway. So if you're new to my channel, make sure to hit that subscribe button and also that notification bell so you'll be notified every time I post a new video. So let's go ahead and hop into the first meal. So this one is a really good way to use up any leftovers that you have in your fridge. We just made some simple burritos using some ground beef that we browned up. Go with it, we just opened up a can of pinto beans and drained them. And then we also had a little bit of this yellow rice left, so we cooked that up. And we just made some really simple burritos. We topped it with some cheese. Like I said, this is a really good way to use up any leftovers that you have in your fridge. You don't have to use ground beef. You can use chicken or whatever you already have. Alright, so this next one, we are going to roast a whole chicken in the crock pot. You'll just need, of course, a chicken. I'm going to use this Trader Joe's barbecue coffee rub, a little bit of olive oil, and about 4 to 5 medium-sized russet potatoes. So I'm going to start by placing the potatoes into the bottom of my crock pot, and then I'm going to take my chicken and set that on top of the potatoes, and that's going to allow the chicken to roast. Next, I'm going to take a little bit of olive oil and drizzle that on top. And then we're going to take our coffee rub and start sprinkling that on. And for the record, I'm not touching the seasoning container after I have touched the chicken. I'm just sprinkling it into the palm of my hand and then rubbing it onto the chicken. And I'm going to do this very generously. Alright, and that is what it looks like. I also had a little bit of carrots in the freezer. I love to freeze produce, so times like this I can just pull it out and use it in whatever I need it in. So I'm just going to take a few of these and sprinkle those in. Next, we're going to take and place the lid on and cook it on high for about 5 to 6 hours. And I forgot to get footage before we cut into it. It was a really hectic, busy day that day, but this is what it looked like. It was so good, and you'll see in a second that I actually make another meal out of what's left. Alright, so for this next one, we're going to take that leftover chicken and also the broth from that, and we're gonna make some chicken and dumplings, and I've got some tortillas that we are going to use in the last hour of this. So I'm gonna go ahead and throw this in the crock pot and just cook it. I'll probably cook it on high since we're kind of pressed for time. It's already 1 o'clock, and get this going, and then we'll put some tortillas in it and have some chicken and dumplings. Alright, so to start, I'm going to take this chicken and place the bones and everything back into the crock pot. We're going to take the broth that we froze from it, and we're just going to place the lid on, let that cook down for a couple of hours, and then we will go back in and fish all of the bones and fat and everything out that we don't want in our dumplings. And you can see that that broth was a little bit rich, so I added about 2 cups of water. And then next I took a little bit of this chicken base. You can find this at Walmart, and I'm just going to add about a tablespoon in there. And then next I decided to go ahead and take my chicken out. So I'm just using a slotted spoon to scoop that chicken out, and I'm going to take out all the bones and the fat and only put back the good meat. And I also decided to add in 1 can of cream of chicken just for a little added flavor. This part's optional, you don't have to do this, but like I said, it does add a little bit of extra flavor. So I'm just going through the chicken and making sure that I don't miss any bones or fat, and then we're going to place that back into the crock pot. Alright, so now it is back into the crock pot. I'm going to let this all simmer together, and while that is simmering, I'm going to go ahead and cut up some tortillas, and these are going to be my dumplings. So this is actually a trick from my grandma. So sometimes she would use tortillas in place of dumplings, and they work really great if you don't have anything else. And to be honest, they're really good. I almost prefer them over regular traditional dumplings. They just add a really good flavor. So I'm just taking 2 tortillas and I'm cutting them into strips, and then we're going to add those into the crock pot at the last 30 minutes to an hour before you want to serve. And there you go. This is what it looked like. It's a really good, easy, and cheap meal. If you've never made chicken and dumplings using tortillas before, give it a try. And if you do use Instagram, look me up and tag me. I would love to see. Next up, we kept this night really easy. We had some chicken strips in the freezer, so we just took and pulled them out and put them into the air fryer. We topped them onto a bed of lettuce with a little bit of cut up tomato. We also made a homemade honey mustard dressing. I will leave the recipe for down below. We added in a little bit of chia seeds and a few sliced cucumbers, and that was it. Alright, and then for the last meal, we had some zucchini in the fridge that we needed to use. Also had some shrimp in the freezer. So we started out by cutting the zucchini up and putting it into a saucepan with about 2 tablespoons of butter, and we're just going to let that cook down. We added in some of this blackened seasoning. This is really good with shrimp. Some salt, also about a tablespoon of minced garlic, as well as some onion powder. And then once we had that zucchini cooked down, we then added in the shrimp. The shrimp does cook pretty fast, so we just cooked them until they were no longer pink. And then on the side, we just served it with some grits and also some garlic knots. Don't forget to leave me a thumbs up and also hit that subscribe button if you like what's for dinners and crockpot recipes, because I do a lot of those over here. Thank you all for watching, and I will see you in the next video. Bye.